I just found out my fiancé and I are related, and we don't know what to do. Throwaway account, because this is a massive secret and we fully expect it to blow up in our faces. I never thought I would post here, but the holidays uncovered something huge, and my fiancé and I genuinely have no idea what to do. I grew up in a fairly large city in the south with just my mom, my younger brother, and me. My dad died of cancer when I was 4, and my mom supported us by working as an accountant for a mid-sized company. It was always just the big three, as my mom liked to say. I have never known anyone from her side of the family. She has always been extremely private about her upbringing, but as I got older, I picked up bits and pieces. Whenever we saw family, it was always my dad's side. My parents met as adults, but after my dad died, my grandpa really stepped up in my life. He took me to father-daughter dances, came to baptisms and major milestones, and was always present. When I asked about my mom's side of the family, I usually got short answers like, "They're bad people," or "We live far away for a reason." As far as I know, my mom left home when she was around 17 and never spoke to anyone from her family again. My grandparents on my dad's side never met anyone from her side. Almost 4 years ago, I got into a great university far from home. My grandpa drove me down to campus and helped me move in. During orientation, I met Tom, not his real name. We clicked instantly, same humor, same values, and a connection I had honestly never felt before. We became best friends very quickly and soon started dating. Tom is also from far away, but our hometowns are nowhere near each other. Over the years, I spent some holidays with his family, and he spent some with mine. My mom, my brother, and my grandpa, who passed away around Thanksgiving this year, all adored him and were very vocal about wanting me to marry him. His family accepted me just as warmly. Last year, his parents even gave him a large gift to help pay for an engagement ring. He proposed this past August, right around the anniversary of when we met. We are planning to get married in June, shortly after we graduate. One more piece of context before the actual problem: Tom and I became sexually active about a month ago. We were both virgins when we met and had decided we wanted to wait until marriage. After he proposed, we decided together that we were comfortable taking that step, especially since I am on birth control and we were already planning a wedding. Our parents assume we are waiting, but no one has ever directly asked. Until now, this had not been a point of stress for us. Here is where everything falls apart. This past Christmas, I stayed with Tom's family. My mom and my paternal grandmother are in the middle of an argument that I did not want to be involved in, and my mom was completely fine with me going elsewhere. While at Tom's family gathering, his mom's parents came over, and we all had a big holiday meal, opened gifts, and had a great time. They even gave me several gifts with their last name on them. At some point during the evening, Tom's grandmother made a comment to his mom, whom I will call Melissa. She said, "Melissa, do you remember when you and Rachel got me that planter for Christmas?" I leaned over and quietly asked Tom who Rachel was. He looked confused and said it was his mom's twin sister, who disappeared years ago. He had never met her. I immediately felt uneasy. My mother's name is Rachel, although she has gone by her middle name my entire life. I also knew she had siblings, one sister and one brother. Tom had mentioned an uncle who passed away around 2010. At the time, I convinced myself it was just a strange coincidence. Later that night, people were moving around the house, and Tom and I ended up sitting alone together with some wine. I whispered something like, "I didn't know your mom had a twin." I think at that exact moment, it hit both of us. About a year earlier, while dating, we had already realized our mothers shared the same birthday. We thought it was funny and even mentioned it casually once to his mom. We both started internally panicking but kept it together for the rest of the visit. The next day, I flew home to see my mom. Before I got there, Tom and I came up with a plan. I told my mom I had been talking to my gynecologist about some issues with my period and that one of the intake questions asked whether there were twins in my family. I said I did not know and figured I should ask. For the first time in my life, my mom admitted she was a twin. When I asked why she never told me, she went on a long, drunken rant about how her sister Melissa was a literal demon. My mom is, unfortunately, drunk most of the time. She also mentioned cutting her family off completely when she was young. What is wild is that my mom and Tom's mom look absolutely nothing alike. One is tall and brunette, the other is short and blonde. At that point, everything clicked. We confirmed last names, which were the same. I also learned my mom's maiden name for the first time in my life, which I know sounds strange, but she is intensely private. Tom and I are first cousins. We have no idea what to do next. Our parents have never met, but they are supposed to meet at our wedding in 6 months. We have already built a future around each other. Tom has a great job lined up, and I have been accepted early decision to my dream law school in the same city. Our relationship is genuinely strong. We are best friends and deeply in love. Ending the relationship feels like throwing away the greatest joy either of us has ever known. Continuing it feels terrifying. There are obvious biological concerns if we ever want children. There is also the very real possibility of being disowned or pressured to split once the truth comes out. We are stuck and completely overwhelmed. What do we do? Edit 1. Thank you for all the kind comments. Tom and I have read through all of them, and we truly appreciate the thoughts and support. We have decided to talk to our parents tonight. We both fly back to college tomorrow, so this is really the last opportunity before it gets dangerously close to the wedding. I will update either tonight or tomorrow at the airport. We plan to tell them what we have learned but insist that it will not affect our plans to marry. Hopefully, if we lead with that, there will not be an effort to break us up. Final update: I did not expect this story to get so much attention, but I appreciate all the kind words and encouragement. I also appreciate everyone who reached out kindly in my messages. I apologize if I have not responded yet, my life is a little upside down. I wrote the original post in the early afternoon. At the time, my mother was out buying my brother new clothes for his upcoming semester. I decided I would confront her after dinner. Tom and I agreed that I would tell my mom that night, and then we would figure out how to tell his parents. When dinner came, I could not eat. My brother kept asking why, so I eventually told my mom I had something important to talk to her about privately. She recognized the seriousness of my tone and told my brother to go to the gas station to buy scratch-off tickets. When he left, I told her everything, starting with, "This is really big news, but I want you to know that I intend to continue my relationship with Tom." I told her that I had been at Tom's house and learned that his mom had an estranged twin, and that I was confident it was her. I said the full legal names of Tom's mom and his maternal grandparents. I knew I was right by the shade of red my mother turned. She kept saying, "What? And, is this a joke?" I even showed her Tom's mom's Facebook page. My mother has no social media and never has, as far as I know. At first, my mom went silent while I sobbed. Then she erupted. She told me I needed to leave Tom immediately and never speak to him again. I told her I would not do that. She started yelling about how Tom's family was spreading lies about her, even though they do not know any of this. She became paranoid. I told her she did not need to tell them anything and that she could simply never meet them. Since his family is paying for the entire wedding, I suggested she not attend so she would never have to interact with them. That suggestion did not go over well. She called me every name imaginable and screamed until she was hoarse. She told me she would not allow me to return to school for my final semester. Around this time, my brother came home. He is very laid back and does not handle conflict well, so he went into the adjacent living room and scrolled on his phone. I told my mom I would marry Tom regardless, and that if she chose not to be part of my life, that was her decision. She called me ungrateful and continued screaming. Things escalated when she demanded my phone. I'm actually on Tom's family's phone plan. She also demanded that I go to my room. I said no, that I am an adult, and she threw a 3/4 full bottle of gin at me. It hit my arm and shattered on the floor. That is when my brother stepped in and pulled me out of the house. We could hear her breaking things and yelling as we stood outside. Because my flight was early the next morning, my brother drove me to a friend's apartment near the airport. I had never met this friend before. My mother texted me repeatedly, calling me awful names and demanding to know where I was, but nothing else happened. I am writing this from the airport while waiting to board my flight. I have a bruise on my arm, but it is not serious. Tom thinks I should have called the police, but I could not bring myself to do that to my mom, even if this ends up being the last time I ever speak to her. My brother brought me all my belongings around 2 in the morning and then took me to a hotel connected to the airport. He is a saint. This is only half the update. After I left the house, I called Tom hysterical. He said he thought he should tell his parents, and I agreed. Around 10:30 p.m., Tom pulled his parents aside and told them everything. They had seen pictures of my mother on my social media before but had not recognized her. Once they looked again, they confirmed it was the Rachel they knew. Melissa cried for a long time. Tom's dad, whom I will call Richard, said the situation was very strange. They asked Tom many questions, including whether we had been sexually active and whether my mother knew. Tom told them everything. They were disappointed but did not dwell on it. After hearing what happened with my mom, their tone changed completely. They told Tom they still supported our marriage and needed to make a plan moving forward. They texted me kind messages, saying nothing had changed, that I was still their daughter, and that they loved me. Melissa explained why my mom became estranged. This is only her version, but apparently my mom began unraveling emotionally in high school, accused her parents of favoritism, and ran away with an older boy. She never returned and never responded to letters. How I am doing, I am heartbroken and scared. I have only seen my mother be violent once before. I was always the perfect child, and now I cannot imagine her ever speaking to me again. I love Tom, and I do not believe it is fair to either of us to abandon this love. How Tom is doing, he is anxious being away from me and incredibly grateful to my brother. He wants me to block my mom's number, but I am not ready. We plan to attend therapy together. He blames himself, but this is not his fault. We are terrified of what happens next, but we are still reading all the comments. The encouragement helped us find the courage to tell the truth. Thank you for the support. Feel free to ask questions. It genuinely helps us think through every angle.